Hey guys, I've been getting a lot of questions about a particular topic lately, and I decided that I would just shoot a video answering these questions and send this to everybody who brings up this topic. So the main attack against Ted Cruz right now is the H1B visa program that he supports, which is a high-skilled worker visa. It's usually tech workers, and he wants to increase that visa. Now, this is controversial because of a big scandal that went on with Disney, where Disney was requiring American citizens to train their foreign replacements, and these were high-skilled workers. So they would pay an American, like let's say, 115,000 per year, where they would pay the foreign worker 68,000 per year, and they'd force the American to train the foreign worker. So this is a big scandal, and Disney got caught, and what most people don't understand is that this is illegal, and it's not legal for Disney to do that. It's not legal for any company to do that. You cannot replace American workers with foreign workers using a visa program. You just can't, because you're supposed to allow Americans to apply for the job first, and if nobody applies and you cannot find qualified employees, then you open up those positions to foreign workers. And a lot of companies probably do get away with violating that law, but that doesn't mean that it's legal. It means that there's a problem with enforcement. So my response to this is I give the example of Donald Trump. Donald Trump, his position on illegal immigration is to deport any illegal immigrant that comes across law enforcement, to cut them off from society as much as possible, and force them to go home and reapply if they want to become a legal resident, get a worker visa, or become a citizen. However, when it comes to legal immigration, Donald Trump supports increasing legal immigration, making it easier for people to come here legally from other countries, and also increasing the H1B1 visa program. I've known this for a long time because I've heard Trump say this many, many times, and it's funny how many Trump supporters are attacking Ted Cruz over this H1B visa program when Donald Trump supports the exact same thing. Now, honestly, this is my position, so I don't have a problem with it. But for those people who pretend to have a problem with it when Ted Cruz supports it, it's pretty interesting that they don't have a problem with it when Donald Trump or Ben Carson or Carly Fiorina or anybody else on that debate stage, they all support increasing this H1B1 visa program. So as proof, I found the video on YouTube of if you go to the CNBC debate, they have the full debate there on YouTube for you to watch. And go to about 1 hour and 2 minutes into the video. She asked the question like around 1 hour and 1 hour 1 minute and 50 seconds, right? But 1 hour and 2 minutes into the video, you'll hear Trump's response. And I want to play this for you. You can hear the audio and listen to what Donald Trump says here.
Critical of him. I was not at all. In fact, frankly, he's complaining about the fact that we're losing some of the most talented people. They go to Harvard, they go to Yale, they go to Princeton, they come from another country, and they're immediately sent out. I am all in favor of keeping these talented people here so they can go to work in Silicon Valley.
So you're in favor of increasing
that? At all critical of him.
Where did I read this and come up with this that you were...
Probably.
So most people didn't catch that because it flies right over their heads. A lot of people don't even understand the way these programs work. But Trump just said right there, he is not at all in favor of forcing high-skilled workers to go back home. He wants to allow those people to stay. And he wants to deport, like he says, the worst that are coming here to freeload off the system. And that is a rational position. That's a good position in my opinion. But there are people who disagree with that. And what I say to those people who don't agree with that, there's some people who are against all immigration, both legal and illegal, is you don't have a choice here. And criticizing Ted Cruz, sure, but you better have the same standard for every other candidate on that debate stage because they all support increasing the H1B1 visa. Not only that, but other than Cruz and Trump, the others support amnesty. The others don't even support enforcing the immigration laws that are on the books because amnesty is obviously not enforcing the immigration law. So if they don't support enforcing the immigration law and they support increasing legal immigration, That is like 10 times worse than somebody like Ted Cruz or Donald Trump, who says we support enforcing immigration law, which includes deportations, but we also support legal immigration while following the law. They're telling you we're going to enforce this law, and we're going to crack down on law violators like Disney, like a ton of bricks. We're going to come down on these people, and we're going to force them to think twice before they violate our immigration laws again. We're going to make it hurt. And that's what Ted Cruz always says. So it's different when you have a commander-in-chief who's credible when it comes to following the law, to enforcing these laws and not letting people, companies, get away with doing terrible things like replacing American workers with cheaper alternatives from other countries. That's not legal. But what it takes is a commander-in-chief who's willing to enforce that law. And when you have a commander-in-chief who is willing, such as Ted Cruz or Donald Trump, then that's a good law. Because what it does is it fills in the holes in our economy. Like Mike Rowe says, there's not a shortage of jobs. Mike Rowe from Dirty Jobs. There's not a shortage of jobs. It's just that there's so many people who don't want to do these dirty jobs. He says he travels all over the country checking out these different industries, hard jobs, dirty jobs, jobs that are not prestigious. And he says there are plenty of opportunities, plenty of openings. There are not enough workers out there. So people who say there are no jobs, the economy is crap, you're just not looking in the right places, because there are plenty out there. And when it comes to those, and you're an employer, you're a farmer, you're a construction construction contractor, something like that, and you genuinely not trying to replace Americans, no, but you genuinely cannot find Americans to do something, and the job's just not going to get done. You may need to go and bring in temporary foreign workers to complete the job. And we are free market capitalists. We don't believe what the Democrats believe, that there's a limited pie that can never grow. And because a foreign worker gets wages, that means it must be taking wealth away from somebody else. We believe in wealth creation. And in order for that worker to get paid anything by an American company, he has to provide American companies, American societies with wealth that is greater than his wage. So if he's being paid $60K a year, he's providing more than $60K a year in wealth, because companies have to make a profit. So he is providing wealth to our society in exchange for his wages. And he's not some guy who's freeloading off the system, who's, illegally working, right? Illegally, not paying taxes and sending his kids to public schools and, getting welfare and all these other things that a lot of illegal immigrants do who don't work. These are immigrants who do work. And when done the right way, it's a beautiful thing that adds to the society. The problem with the Republican establishment and the problem with the Democrat Party is they don't enforce the law, and they allow this system to be abused. It's a backward system when they do it. But when you have a guy like Trump, or you have a guy like Ted Cruz who enforces the law and makes sure that it's done the right way, this is a beautiful system. And what I say to those of you who are not convinced by anything that I have to say about this, and still want to cut off legal immigration as well as deport illegal immigrants that are here, what I say to you is there's only one candidate in this race that is in agreement with you on that issue, on cutting off legal immigration as well as illegal immigration, and that is Rick Santorum. But that guy has no hope of winning. He has no money, he has no staff, he has no infrastructure. He couldn't win last time with a much weaker field. Why? Because he had no money, no staff, and no infrastructure. So how is he going to win this time with a much stronger field and much better alternatives than him? He has no hope. So you look at the field, there's nobody that agrees with that position of cutting off legal immigration. And this is mostly coming from Paul bots who are desperate that Rand Paul's campaign is imploding and he's about to drop out. So they're just swinging attacks at Ted Cruz, who's stealing a lot of libertarian support from Rand Paul, and saying, oh, Cruz supports these H1B1 visas. While Rand Paul, not only does he support H1B1 visas, but he supports amnesty. I mean, it's hilarious. These are a bunch of hypocrites out there. So whenever you hear these attacks come up, if it's coming from somebody who supports another candidate, you know that they're not being honest. They're not credible on this issue. Either they're ignorant or they're intentionally just trying to smear Ted Cruz and throw off his supporters because their candidate supports the exact same thing. And Cruz and Trump, in my opinion, are the only credible people who can support a program like this, because they will enforce the law, because they are not willing to give amnesty. All the other candidates, you can't trust them to enforce the law because they're over there for amnesty. So that's my response to people who keep criticizing Ted Cruz over this program. Show me a candidate who doesn't support it, and if that's not your candidate, then you're a hypocrite. So for the rest of you, I would say that be careful about going to one extreme. It's an emotional reaction to be against legal immigration, the same way that it's an emotional reaction for Democrats to be against the Second Amendment. Just because there's some killers out there who go off and break the law and abuse it, they want to take guns away from law-abiding citizens. It's ridiculous. It's the same reaction that's here on the right, because people see so many lawbreakers, so many violations of the law on illegal immigration, and they want to take away all immigration, all visas, and pretty much deport everybody that's not an American citizen. I think that's an extreme view and an emotional view, and I agree with Ted Cruz and Donald Trump on this issue. When done the right way, legal immigration is a beautiful thing. The trick is that we need to have a president, an executive branch that will actually enforce the law and crack down on violators. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions, just let me know. And don't feed the trolls, guys. Take it easy.